Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Terrence Ray, and I'm back at you with a weekly stock market update. We had a doozy last week, and I got a feeling we're going to be in for a doozy this week. Good action, though. Good action. Good tape action. So let's get right to it. Right now, I got a chart of the SPX, S&P 500, and the expected move for the week is $125.24. Last week, I think it was right around $100 or so. And if I'm not mistaken, it was about like, yeah, it was like 100. It's close right around there, maybe a little more. So what that tells you is with it being 125, there's a lot of volatility pumped into this week. And I have the option chain plotted out right here on the chart, showing you where we could get to from right here. Right. I personally think that we're gonna get, we should get a pullback. I don't know for sure, right? No one knows. When I bring up my indicators, and you can see momentum is moving to the downside. It's accelerating to the downside. So we could expect some more selling pressure on the RSI. We just got a 38 because I can look at it over here on the side. And with us only having a 38 RSI, so it is not oversold yet. So we can still get a substantial amount on the sell off. Now, what I wanted to um, also, what I also want to say before I move on to some stocks is if you don't pay attention to futures, like sometimes I trade futures, I don't trade them a whole lot. When I do trade them, it's more like the S&P 500 futures or something like that. Maybe gold every now and then. But I would say to start monitoring the futures market, even if you don't trade it. And the reason why I say you want to monitor the futures market, but especially on Sundays, the market is going to open. The futures market will open today, I think at 6 p.m. Eastern. Um, and when the market opens today at 6, you're going to see these numbers update. So you will have a feel for how the market is going to open up on Monday based on how the futures market and what it does overnight. That's why I would say I would pay attention to them. And it's okay to arrange your watch list just like I have mine. It's strategically arranged the way I have it arranged. And I have it arranged like this. I was taught by someone that's awesome. I paid money to learn how to set it up this way. And I'm gonna talk about one of those that I look at, excuse me, that I look at in rearranging my watch list. So let's get right to it. First on the list, I want to talk about now normally I don't name my weekly videos, but this one I called it. Of course, this is the weekly stock market update, and then I got a subtitle: Preserving Capital. Right? Everybody is a genius in a bull market. You run into people, and then they say, you know, they'll brag about how much money they made in the market. Everyone makes money when the market's going up because you can literally just buy stocks, buy calls, or whatever. You look like a genius because the market is going up. But when it's a sell off, like what we had last week, you generally now you got to go into preserving capital, right? You can make money on the way down as well, but most people, don't know how to do that. So you got to go into preserving capital, and you'll see on TV, you'll see a lot of times they talking about sector rotation, and I'm going to show you a little bit of that and how you can visually see it on the chart. We're going to go to the XLU. I'm going to pull up a weekly because I showed this. You go back through my videos, you'll see I talked about this Harami right here on the weekly. You can see I did this on it was either last week's video or the week before that. But you'll see when I talked about this Harami. And I said generally when you have this setup, you get a big move either direction, whether it be up or down. Utilities broke out to the upside. with them breaking out to the upside, you can so utilities would be something that investors would rotate into when things like technology and other riskier assets are going down. Now let's look at this on a daily. You can see the market going up. Now it did turn red a little bit on Friday because everything sold off. But you can see that you can actually see that sector rotation. Now I'm gonna go to that sector real quick and we're gonna look at utilities so you can get a kind of so all I'm doing over here on the Tasty Trade platform on this little side over here, I came over right here, clicked on um up here, click on the little drop down menu, come down to sectors, and we're gonna go down to utilities. So we can look at some of the stocks that's in utilities, and you can see that on Friday, the majority of these stocks were green when the rest of the market was down. Now, one of the stocks I talked about on last week's video, Next Era Energy, I drew this triangle out right here and I talked about it breaking up. I said when it came out, watch the move when it came out of the triangle, and it did. You can see what it did, right? It took this high out and then we're holding right here. But you can see we have other stocks in here that are up as well. Look at that. This is American Waterworks, Consolidated Edison, WEC Energy Group, Duke Energy. Look at these. Now, these utilities are, even when the market is down, the utilities are still going up. So if you want to be a bull, you can look in the utility sector and maybe find something that is going up. You can see these charts look the same. I'm gonna go click back out and go to a weekly chart and just look at them. And you can see they look good up and to the right. Now, I want to look at the opposite of that or the inverse. Let's find one that doesn't look like that. We're gonna go and look at the XLF, which is financials. Now, I want to show you something in the XLF. And you can see here with the XLF, I'm gonna show you something. You have you have a pattern. I'll hide those and then you got right. If you look right here, you can see, as I can see it without even drawing out the trend line. But I'm gonna show you guys something. And then I'm gonna show you a harmonic pattern in here. We're gonna go, just gonna do something from this top to this top right here. Pull it all the way through, right? And then I'm gonna show you from this low to right here, right? Now you can see it broke out, came down, retest, and now it's coming back through. You have like a W right here. This is called a harmonic, where it came down, pulled back, and then broke down right here. So if I drew this out, this is a reversal pattern that you see in markets. Like this is a clean reversal pattern. Generally, what you see when you get something here, you get a pullback at some point, right? Maybe it'll pull back into right and around this area, and then it just takes off to the downside. So that is something. Now, when we see something like that, you saying, well, how would you trade something like that? The XLF, it is tradable. It's not a large stock or ETF, and it doesn't move really a whole lot. You can go to look at the banks. Now you see that, right? Now I already have JP Morgan marked up. Look at JP Morgan. Looks similar, don't it? I'm gonna make a statement here. Generally, generally speaking, when you see banks sell off, the market from my little few years of research and from watching markets every day, the market does not the market will follow the banks. You're not gonna have a bull market if banks are selling off. It just think about it. It just don't make sense. And I seen some headline, I don't know how true it is, said that banks had got like over 570 something um, $1 billion in losses, unmarked losses, you know, on the books. And you can see it, this chart looks just like XLF. Look, they look just alike. And I'm almost certain. Let's go look at some other banks. So that this may not be a bad sector, depending on how you looking at it. You may be looking at it as a place to buy dips. This ain't enough of a dip for me, or a place to get short. So if we're looking at JP Morgan, look at Berkshire. See how similar it looks? Same type of chart. These charts these stocks are on highs, right? I could draw a trend line right here, here. It would look the same. Bank of America, look at that, getting killed. Wells Fargo getting destroyed. Now, what keeping it all in perspective, over the past year, it went from down here all the way to here, right? So, in the grand scheme of things, it really hasn't given back that much. But let's look at City. I just wanted to show uh, what the I wanted to show you a visual of sector rotation. How we can see one sector, which is the banking sector, going down, and most of the banks in it, and then how we can go and look and see something like utilities being up. This is Morgan Stanley. Now, if I bring my indicators up, I mean, keeping it a buck, Morgan Stanley ain't even really hadn't even got to the selling yet. I don't really count it until this oscillator right here crosses over to the zero side. You want to see it cross over to the downside. Look at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, and one thing about Goldman, looking at it, you got divergence right here. You have divergence right here. So you see that? You got a higher high. And you come down here on the oscillator and you got lower lows on the oscillator. That's divergence. And so when you see stuff like that, that's a clear bearish setup right there. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I might short Goldman Sachs um next week. I'd like to see it pull back, to be honest with you, pull back into here, right around 483, and then get short. But I just wanted to come in here and look at different and show the sector rotation. So the reason why I named the video "Preserving Capital" is showing you things that are going down versus things that are going up. You can buy. Uh, of course, this ain't financial advice, but I'm showing you uh, ways to preserve your capital. Right? You want to stay short. I'm showing you stuff that's going down where you can stay short or get neutral. Excuse me. Getting neutral, you can put neutral trades on right now. I don't know if I advise getting neutral, to be honest with you. I'd rather, me personally, I already got a neutral trade on that I'm down in managing my string on IWM. And more than likely, as soon as I get a bounce in price action, I'll come out of it and then I'll find something else to trade because volatility, it looks like we just at the beginning of this. If I come look at the SPY, you can see we hit a level right here on Friday, and I got some more levels to go. And the momentum oscillator is continuing to go down. Like it's not making like it did and pulled back a little bit and then took off again. So when I see that type of momentum continuously going down, I'm expecting more downward action. But at some point, the market just don't go straight down. So we should get a little pullback, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and then at that time you can readjust positions. So hey guys, make sure you got the bell notification on. I will come in next week with some updates, possibly some trades. Like I said, I'm gonna be looking at, what did I say? Goldman Sachs. I'm gonna add Goldman Sachs to my weekly watch list. Um, and now APA. Why do I have APA on there? Because I'm not that setup. It did break out and take this fractal out, and then when that sell off happened, it just went bananas. So I won't come there, but I will continue to look at NEE. I keep that on the weekly watch list. This one right here got a sweet move. Broke out of here, took that high out. Let's see if it makes this next level up here right around 81.51. And then, like I said, I want Goldman Sachs. We definitely want to look at, because I got this divergence right here. There's a couple ways I could play it. Before I get off of here, we could do the put spread. Come over here. Buy the 475, sell the 470. Right now, with the market being closed, it's selling for 250. So basically, risking one to make one. That's not a bad trade. To put to get some bullish. Excuse me. To get some negative deltas. When you look at it like this, when you zoom out to a yearly chart and look at it like this, you like, all right, you got a ways to we got a ways to go with this. Before we could see it give back some of this up move. And when you look at the weekly, even on the weekly, you can see the momentum oscillator rolling over and then still accelerating, hadn't turned on the, but this one red candle kind of engulfed one, two, two candles, two candlesticks. So we'll see what we get um, coming into the next week. And with that, guys, um, keep your trades small. That's one thing I would advise. I wouldn't advise getting too large with your trades. And with that, I'm gonna be out. Peace.